My name is Katrin Goedker, and I'm an assistant professor here at the finance department at Bocconi.
I've seen on your personal page that you describe yourself as an empiricist working in the field of behavioral finance, which is a lovely description and really enticing. What does it really mean?
Yeah, good question. Let's first talk about behavioral finance. What does this mean? So, of course, it's research in finance, but what we try and what is really the fun part about it is the behavioral aspect. So we try to introduce more psychology insights into the study of financial markets. Because in the end, financial markets are really different market participants that interact with each other. So we want to know how these market participants behave and make decisions. And so we borrow a lot of actually from the field of psychology to make sense of how these financial markets work.
And to make just it more interesting, what are you working on at the moment?
At the moment, I work on memory. So how investors actually remember their past gains and losses, and how this then influences how they form expectations about future investment outcomes or how they then make decisions. I actually then, coming back to psychology, I use methods from psychology to do so. So we use experiments, lab experiments, to find out what investors really remember, how they then form expectations based on these memories, and eventually how this translates into decisions. What we find is that investors are pretty good in remembering their gains, but they forget their losses. And that, of course, makes them overly optimistic about future gains and losses, and makes them also reinvest too much.
I suppose that teaches us a lot of insight about how people are indeed optimistic. But then I suppose that when we were a child, you did not dream to become a researcher in finance, did you?
That's true. I didn't know that even exists. I was dreaming about becoming an astronaut. I think I was just fascinated by these possibilities to explore and learn so much still out there in space, with so many mysteries.
But then I think that astronauts are mainly men, so and was that any conditioning about gender?
Yeah, I believe this didn't even cross my mind when I was a child. I think my parents did a very good job in raising us without thinking about our gender and really letting us, my brother and me, to express ourselves in the way we wanted to. In fact, my brother and I, we often dreamed about becoming an astronaut together.
But then at what age did you decide to become a researcher?
That was much later, when I saw university life and really enjoyed this. And then at the end of my bachelor studies, I read my first academic paper, and that hooked me. I was immediately after that really into reading more of these and fascinated by research. And one of the first papers I read were already on the topic of behavioral finance. So I think that just really shaped my interest, and I started watching a lot of talks by psychologists. So really trying to learn more outside of the field of finance.
And during this process, from student to researcher, did you come across someone who might have become a role model for you?
So during being student and then researcher, I think there were definitely some other researchers that shaped me, but I think that was mainly content-wise, because you meet so many smart and creative researchers that of course they inspire you. But when I really think about a role model, I would say it's my mom. My mom really taught me that I should always do whatever I think is right, irrespective of what social norms or rules say. And I think that helped me a lot.
And in academia, anybody?
In academia, I would name one of my mentors in the US, Terry O'Dean at Berkeley. He's just amazing in understanding human behavior. He has this great intuition about how people work. And then he's just very creative. So we meet, for example, once a week and discuss about new ideas and even think about how to get to creative ideas and the process to get to creative ideas.
So you're telling us that we must be optimistic and creative.
I think these are very good characteristics for a researcher, yes. When I think about the characteristics of a researcher, I guess I would also add being critical. I think that's crucial to really always question what you do and how you do it, so whether your findings are really valid. But I think being critical with yourself is much easier when you're optimistic and when you like yourself. So that really helps to then also question again what you do and be open also to own criticism.
Thank you, Katrin. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.